Welcome to podcast number 4 for Formula One. Aaron, how are we
We are delighted that we've come this far.
this far? You won your softball game today. That's also a plus. I was there, I can confirm.
Nice. But this is a Formula One podcast, and we're going to run through everything that has been happening so far.
Let's do it. Melbourne, my least favourite track. On certain days, other times my favourite track.
Yeah,
This
it's a good
season,
track, actually. So,
not my favourite
um,
track this season, of course. You know why. You know exactly why it wasn't. Mind
well,
telling the 4 people listening why?
well, we could start off with Australia and who won it and why Vettel won the race, actually.
VSC.
Um, so the VSC win, that changed everything, actually.
It
Uh,
because Hamilton was far away, he had to follow Delta speed, and Vettel was just entering the pit before or halfway during the VSC,
mm.
so he came out with a huge advantage. And Melbourne not being a track that it's easy to overtake on, so obviously couldn't make it back to first.
No, exactly.
So
And
yeah,
pit stops and VSC actually helped. I think some of the other teams as well to gain places. But that's pretty much how it really went down, and that's the only major incident that happened anyway. So
that's correct.
like
Moving on to you were saying
yeah, it's just that's pretty much it. It was just a Melbourne race.
the typical Melbourne
Uh,
race, yeah.
typical Melbourne race. So yeah.
So moving on to Bahrain, uh, not so good for us, considering the only team both of us genuinely like. Both
Yeah.
the drivers were out. Mechanical failure. I don't remember why Verstappen was out, but I know
Yeah,
Ricardo's steering wheel stopped working. The LED stopped
yeah,
working on it.
just both blown out, and I'm just confuzzled, confused, and just these things happen, and you can only just hope for the better in the next race. But both Red Bulls out on that one, and
Yeah.
something tells me something happened in the pit lanes of Ferrari.
Oh, you know what? I was like 2 weeks out from my surgery when that happened. So, uh,
Yeah,
Raikkonen, I hope he lost some sleep that night because that was a scary incident that happened to his mechanic.
yeah, exactly. Being in that pit stop is going to be one of the most frightening, especially for just a few seconds as well.
Yeah,
Running over, well, not in, not deliberately, but running over mechanic's
running over his
like what was
mechanic
it?
basically, and he broke his
Yeah,
knee,
yeah,
like bent it
yeah,
backwards. It
yeah,
was
just
gnarly. It was hard to watch.
yeah. But then like pit stops are very fast and quick, and obviously if you're in the way, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah, to be
So
fair, he was standing like right in front of the wheel, bad place.
yeah,
So,
um,
but yeah, still quite a hard thing to
yeah.
watch. And the other thing
But
I remember from that race, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say like in the end though, like it's all paid off for. So man's recovering well. I'm sure he's back on to the pits. So
Yeah, well,
mm,
hoping he's going right. The other thing I remember from that race is Bottas's catch up on a fresh tire.
I
He was gunning Vettel down, man. He was given one more lap, he would have had Vettel and won the race in Bahrain. But yeah,
yeah.
it was heartbreaking to see how close he actually got.
Mm. But
Oh well.
Bahrain being one of those semi long, but just medium tracks that just not much action, if I remember. Just yeah, it's just those incidences that shine out.
It's a fun track to play in F1 games, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
race isn't always as entertaining. Yeah, you're right. But this one was very entertaining. This whole season so far has been pretty good, apart from
Oh,
Barcelona, but we'll get to that later.
yeah. Um, so the next race in China, that was
High point of
something.
my career, of my season so far.
But
That's alright.
yeah, watching that was, how do you put it? Like interesting that so much background incidences really happened.
Yeah,
If you look at one of the lower classes of Toro Rosso clashing at the very long straight,
yeah.
um, yeah, a lot of closing the gap and closing the doors on every corner is just very stressful to even look at.
But China's just one of those tracks that there's a lot of because of the just the way it's shaped, the tight corner. It's very easy to get some dive bomb overtakes
Mm.
like Ricardo did, and he put on an overtaking masterclass to go on and win the race. So
Oh, exactly. Especially when it's like 10 laps down and you're catching, like, especially with the double pit lanes, double pit stops
yeah,
from Red Bull
the
as
double
well
stack on the safety car.
under the safety car. That was just pure luck and timing put
Yeah,
together, and that's how they could pull off the Ricardo win.
and Ricardo with the overtake of the season, against Bottas.
Oh, that
They got
was
so close.
like Bottas tried to squeeze that door like as much as possible, and Ricardo just absolutely reopens that door and finds that little
Finds
tiny
the yeah,
hole.
and
It's
he tried to
that's
give as much room but also respect as possible.
exactly, yeah.
And Ricardo with additional grip made that move work.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bottas's tires were worn; he couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, he was
He
on the
was gonna
mediums
get
going for the
overtaken at
long.
some point anyway. So
Yeah, he was going for the longer run as
yeah.
well, so not much to do there.
All right, Baku. Nothing happened there. We might as well skip that. It's the most boring
Oh,
race of the season.
definitely.
What? It was not the most boring race of the season. What the hell happened there, man? Holy shit! Explain to me. 2 years in a row
Several
now, Baku is just
several
Dylan.
things. So what should we start off with?
That's
Let's
a very open-ended question.
so we'll move up move up the order of the table of the teams. So we've got Leclerc. Sauber, Leclerc.
Yes.
He started off at one of the bottom,
Mhm.
plus 10. So then somehow at the end he manages to snatch up sixth place.
Yeah.
You just you look how like
It's a
you
crazy
wouldn't
race,
imagine.
dude. Yeah. So I don't even know what Haas, Grosjean spinning out on the safety car, running straight into the wall, and then blaming
Oh.
Ericsson, who was like 50 meters behind him. That was hilarious. Red Bull incidents, both cars out. Nothing to say there. I think that's.
Oh,
Actually, there's a lot to
that's
say.
a
That's
there's a
100%
lot to say
Verstappen's
there.
fault.
We have to. It's more team orders really. When it comes down to it, someone should have said something and agreed. But um, yeah, it was like a team incident really.
Yeah. We'll get
Really,
into that later. Because
yeah. I
that's I
guess
think that's a
yeah.
topic by
That's
itself.
yeah.
We'll just
True enough.
gloss over the minor incidents for now.
True.
Ocon and Raikkonen crashing at the start of lap one.
Oh,
Uh,
Jesus.
what else happened?
Um,
There's so much. I can't remember.
Bottas's incident on the last
Oh
couple of
no!
laps.
Don't remind me.
Um, who else
I
was
can't.
out?
It was
There's
insane.
so many cars out. It's just
Hamilton just stealing the win out of nowhere. Perez making a podium.
Perez. Yeah, Perez making a podium
He's actually
again.
got a podium on Baku more than anyone now,
That's-
which is just quite cool. I
yeah.
think Fernando Alonso
Um,
finishing seventh. You don't see that very often.
that's pretty good. Yeah. It was just a crazy race. Everything
Yeah.
happened.
Sergey Sorokin
Oh
DNF.
boy.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DNFs.
Oh, it's-
Crazy. What a race. I love Baku.
Oh
Nothing
boy.
to talk about, indeed. Alright, now there's actually nothing to talk about in Spain. Because that was one of the most boring, painful races of my life. Because
That was just
I missed the first like 10 or 7 or 8 laps. And so I missed
Yeah,
the turn
that
one
was
incident. I missed the only bit of action that happened. I watched a very, very boring race.
missed out, man. Like the only exciting thing was watching Leclerc and Alonso. That was pretty much it. Um, and also the pit strategies of the top three teams. It was just one change in it, and that was all. That was it. Um, yeah, pretty boring. But not that it has to be boring. It's just it turns out to be like that, and yeah, that's what Barcelona was.
I think Barcelona should be just a testing track, if I'm completely honest, because it doesn't provide much for the race in terms of track activity. Uh,
It Yeah, it's a good grounds to get some like good corners
Data
and
on and
hot
stuff
top
as well.
speed and yeah. And they did do testing preseason as well, so
Yes,
it wouldn't be too bad to have it as a testing track alone
correct.
instead of just being on the track on the calendar.
Yeah. Oh man. At least we're going from one boring race to another boring race, if I say so myself. But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Definitely,
We'll just
definitely.
sort out the championships now.
Oh yeah,
Mercedes
totally.
on top, right where they belong, I think. Uh, with a
Well,
comfortable, not a comfortable lead actually.
well, it doesn't surprise me really. It's what you would expect, but following by Ferrari and then Red Bull, obviously.
Yeah,
So
top three. It's been that way for a few years now.
yeah, it you can't really expect much until Red Bull. I think they've got the pace, they've got the aerodynamics, they got everything. It's just these double DNFs that just
It's really
hurt.
hurt them. Yes, I
It's
agree,
just so
man.
annoying.
Yeah, and Haas is a team I think that should be in the top four, but isn't.
They've
The incident in Melbourne where they both had faulty. Uh,
yeah,
what's the word?
uh, fo- uh,
Faulty wheel nuts.
yeah. Oh, that's just
It really, really
that was
cost them.
surprising actually because you never see that. But
Yeah,
to happen before both cars, that's
that's
yeah,
shoddy mechanics they've got there.
yeah, exactly. I mean, next race, I guess. So
I'll tell you what does surprise me is Williams at the bottom of the constructor standings. They've got four
it's
points compared to Sauber's 11. What's
it's
happened to them?
it's you would scratch your head and think what happened to the past, like from 2016. I thought they were going to be so great
Yeah,
then because they changed their liveries and everything, but they just dropped even further, and it's kind of worrying.
it's very worrying because they're a vintage team
Yeah, they've been there for like ages,
and they
and
were really good 2 years ago. Not that long ago, actually.
yeah,
They were really, really competitive. They had a good car,
I
but
think I'm not sure if it does all come down to drivers, but uh, I don't think they're just really being that competitive. Honestly, I think they're just refreshing their whole team, I guess,
yeah,
trying to find that right fit, and until they do, they will bounce back. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So
probably the loss of Felipe as well doesn't help.
yeah,
Very experienced
Felipe
driver,
was really good. Um,
nice guy
but
all around.
yeah, for Williams, it's just a really shady, well, not shady, but like, yeah, it's foggy. You don't know where they're gonna go.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, let's move on to drivers. Lewis Hamilton on top, where he belongs again. Uh,
well,
95 points as compared to his closest rival, Sebastian Vettel, 78 points.
it's pretty close. It's gapping away, but uh, um, yeah, Sebastian's trying to get him. It's about 20 points ahead, and following by Valtteri Bottas is
Man, my
it's
man
you can see
Valtteri.
this gap is closing as you go down the list, and
Yeah,
it's the top three, four are just way ahead. Oh, top
Ricardo's not
three are
that
way
far
ahead.
from
Yeah,
Raikkonen.
Ricardo is 1 point from Raikkonen, so top three are just way ahead, and you
Yeah,
can see the difference in the teams and how they improved.
and he only finished like 4 or 5 points behind Raikkonen last year, so
Hmm.
hopefully that improves. So the way he's been going in Monaco, he will just we'll talk about that later because he's been lighting it up.
Oh man. But yeah, yeah, it's nothing to really be surprised about, but all the other drivers have been really surprising me, really,
Fernando
actually.
Alonso in seventh again. I'm so happy to see that, man.
Oh yeah, it's if he doesn't get another seat somewhere higher with McLaren, I mean, not that I don't want to see him, somewhere else, but like he could do great things in another team.
Yeah.
But McLaren Renault, if he wants to stay there, that's his choice, really. So I'm not going to really enforce my opinion to let that fly. I mean, he's doing great in the McLaren as it is because of how they're going, really.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's top 10 because he is.
Alrighty, let's move on to Charles Leclerc. His performances recently have been mind blowing.
You
For
mean the
like,
beast?
he's, I mean, doing much better than what Sauber offers him. I think.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's doing better than Lance Stroll in a Williams.
Let's be honest, the Williams car this year is a dog of a car.
Well,
But yeah, I
well,
see where you're coming from. Yeah,
I mean, Esteban Ocon. There we go.
yeah, there's a
Like,
comparable.
there's an 8 point difference there, and Charles Leclerc is doing all that in a Sauber. So from nothing really shown Leclerc from Australia, Bahrain,
Yeah,
and China, I guess. But in Baku, he snatched sixth position that no one saw coming,
which is great.
and it's just everything I think fit perfectly. And then after that, he I think he just picked up the motivation, or not motivation, but
Momentum.
momentum. Yeah. So he picked up that and then carried it on to Barcelona, and he finished 10th. And you can't ask more from a Sauber driver.
Yeah,
Like snatching that sixth spot was literally winning for them. So
especially at
yeah,
that age. Because hang on, let me find out how old he is. He's 20 years
he,
old,
he's
and
he's
in his
doing
home Grand
absolutely
Prix
great.
now. Home
So
Grand
I wouldn't.
Prix, and lot of stuff riding on his shoulders, but I think, judging by the way he's been going, he will deliver.
Oh, definitely. Like there will be a seat for him next season or the season after, depending
Yeah,
how he really does. Um, but I wouldn't.
Ferrari
He's
or
just
Haas.
yeah. I mean, he would more have a chance in Haas than Ferrari, despite his age and all that stuff. But like,
Oh,
he's
sorry,
he's got
hit my mic. Continue.
um, but he's a great driver all over,
Yeah, he sure
and
is.
yeah,
Speaking of Haas, you know whose spot he might take.
he could take Romain Grosjean's.
Yes, not the best season for him so far.
No, he's gone really spinning since the last race in Barcelona. That was a terrible watch, really. Well, not terrible, but like it was partly, well, mostly Grosjean's fault because
Oh yeah, it
he just
was.
spun out, not really taking control of the car.
Which is a
Um,
shame because he's actually a very good driver.
he's a good driver, but how do you put it? Because you don't know what's going on.
He's not very temperate, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's just he crashed out in Baku and then spun out in Barcelona. So
Correct.
what do you do with him?
And DNF in Australia, and I don't remember what happened in Bahrain and China. So that he hasn't done
Yeah,
anything significant.
yeah, you don't see him really doing much So you could see him like losing his seat if he doesn't improve in this one or the next one.
Yeah, as opposed to his teammate
Mm.
who's been making the most of
Which,
that car. It's a very good car, admittedly. I mean,
yeah.
Haas this year is already much better than the Haas last year.
Oh, definitely.
Currently ninth in the
Um,
championship.
yeah. He's snatched up 19 points. That's pretty good. Trying to be up there. So he's Kevin Magnussen is pretty good on doing on his own, carrying the team really.
Apparently, he's a very scary driver to be around on track because he will put his car first, and he will put himself first, and he will put you at risk. But that's racing.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
that's just the way he is.
but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Moving on to Valtteri
So,
Bottas. Not the best start of the season to him. Came very close in Bahrain. And he's been
yeah.
on the rise since
Mm,
that low point in Melbourne when he crashed out in Q3.
mm,
He's currently third in the
just
championship and he seems to be just getting better and better and securing his seat. But the question is, can he keep it up? And will he secure his seat?
exactly. Those are the two like pin up questions right there because he could have, well, being in the top team, you would expect to be more aggressive, I guess.
Yeah,
Like in China, obviously he was on the older tires, and he was pushing them, well, conservatively pushing them as well. But unfortunately, Ricardo snatched that because of the
yeah.
fresh tires. So, um, and also he, I don't see any really shining points that he's really done, like other than just holding off. Like if he's
Baku
got
was a
first
very good
position,
race for him. He worked
yeah.
hard to get to first and then the piece of debris ruined his
Oh
race.
yeah, definitely. Like when on the last few laps as well, just like debris, just like a small tiny bit, you didn't even see it, and then his wheel's gone. And then also Lewis like it's pretty much Valtteri Bottas's win, but
Yeah.
Lewis had
Went
to
straight to him
thank.
apparently before even getting on the podium. He went straight to Bottas, consoled
Yeah,
him, and then went to the podium. Kept the guys waiting up there, which I think that's 100% team player right there. Like
yeah,
people give
like
Lewis Hamilton a lot of crap for him being like up himself, but on the racetrack he's a good dude.
yeah. Um, but we'll see what Bottas is gonna do because he might even like make up for the second place and take over Vettel. But Vettel's a strong driver, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Uh, I hope they do secure the seats. I mean, but the question about on everyone's lips in the F1 world is Ricardo. Where's he going to go? His contract with Red Bull ends this year.
That it's it's the topic, I think, in the Formula One garage. Really, um, I'm not sure where he's going to go. I'm not sure if he's going anywhere. Um, Even rumors, or if there were supposedly rumors that he's not going to Ferrari.
Hmm.
Um,
Because it's very convenient for him if he does, because Raikkonen will most likely retire at the end of this year.
exactly.
But you don't know what Ferrari. They might move Leclerc up, or they might, get someone
Yeah,
else in the seat. You
exactly.
never know.
Like this is a uh, very open
Yeah.
set of options depending where everyone else is going. So you don't know if Lewis is gonna retire because he's doing so great and doing like a Rosberg, he might retire at this peak moment.
Yeah.
Um, then that lead, or even Bottas moving down because of his performance. You never know at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I
Um,
know Toto Wolff has said that they would love to have Ricciardo in the team, but if Bottas performs, he's not going anywhere. And Toto Wolff also said that if any Mercedes is getting anyone, they're going to look in the Mercedes family first. So probably someone like Ocon of Airline's going to get that Mercedes seat
yeah,
before Ricciardo.
exactly.
So
So
and Ricciardo
mm,
can't stay in. I mean, not that he can't, but we know that Red Bull's building the team around Max Verstappen because
mm,
he's a Red Bull boy, They're building a team around. They're seeing the next. They're seeing the next 4 or 5 years in Max Verstappen. They're going to invest in him rather than Ricardo. So
Yeah,
Ricardo's a bit of a tricky situation at the moment. We'll see how
yeah,
it goes.
yeah. It's kind of a shame that Daniel is like a top driver, and
For
obviously we
sure.
can see at these practice sessions, but it's kind of hard, like harsh to see Max Verstappen being a number one driver when Daniel Ricciardo has been pulling out very good stats and data and everything because it's just really pushing Ricciardo out of the picture. It's really bad. So that's most probably more of a motivation to get Ricciardo into another team, really.
Mm. Yeah, I fully agree. And another option for him is Renault, but let's be honest, he's not going to win a championship in the Renault.
Nah, it's really, really sad to see him go down in the team order. Uh, but
Max, like,
hopefully, yeah.
we need to discuss the Baku clash now. Now's the time. Who do you think was at fault?
Honestly, I think Max by like a slight team decision because if they did, like if they were to put out a team order, or if I was to put out a team order to deal with that situation,
Hmm.
I would have said Max let Daniel through. He's faster, and if he
Yes.
doesn't, it is common knowledge to let your faster drivers catch up to the lead, so
Yep.
you can get the most points. And I don't think any team orders were issued, so therefore incidents happened, and that's
Yeah.
why they lost a lot of points.
They did. Uh, they Ricardo might have even won the race. You never know. It's just a
Exactly.
shame.
Like they could have taken P2 or even P1 because of Bottas's incident caused uh, uh, BSC or VC
I think it was a full
a
safety
safety
car,
car.
wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, if Ricardo was to go past Max Verstappen and
Yeah.
catch up, and then Bottas's incident happened, and then he could have caught up and actually won the race. But team. This is what happens when team orders don't get issued.
It's a real shame, but yeah, it's
Mm,
too late. We got to move past it now
exactly.
in the
It's pretty
worst
much
possible
like
way.
2016 in Barcelona as well. Like they, I don't know whose fault is it, but
Oh, that was
same
Hamilton's
incident.
fault for sure. That was Hamilton's fault.
Like we all look over it and over again, and it's just a racing incident, really.
What about Sebastian Vettel? He's been on the.
He's
He's just plateaued. He
he
started well, but now he's not really doing
he
much.
yeah. It's just I feel like he's playing a defensive mode. I don't know why. It's just you
Interesting.
don't. He's 1-2, then he's like settled back a bit. I think
Yeah.
like you don't see him like much anymore after those two races that he's won. So we don't know what's happened to him as well. So he's just coasting. I think just with the performance car. I don't know what's happened.
What about his
Mm,
teammate?
Raikkonen.
That poor engineer. I still haven't recovered from that, dude. That
Oh
was
man.
tough to
To
watch.
be like in the mirror view of Raikkonen's view, it's just like how do you? It's one incident that happens in the pit, and it's just you can't really avoid it if it happens. So,
Yeah.
but his performance though, yeah, he's in fourth. I reckon he
Yeah.
can do better.
He definitely
It's just
can.
Ferrari favoring Vettel like
Just
as
Max
usual.
Verstappen all over again.
Yeah,
Vettel always gets
yeah,
any team is in Red Bull, Ferrari, bloody
yeah.
Mercedes. If you go, actually maybe not. If Hamilton and Vettel are in the same team, that'd be whew,
That'll be interesting.
sweet.
That'll be the topic, like
That would be wheel
everywhere.
to wheel racing proper. Both the best drivers in the world in the same car. Oh, mate.
That would be really interesting. But in this instance, though, Sebastian and Kimi, it's just, yeah, favoring the first drivers. you don't really see Kimi shining anywhere, and he might be retiring anytime
Yeah.
soon. So we'll see what happens with him.
And Sergio Perez getting that podium in Baku as well. That was
That was really
refreshing.
something. Yeah.
Refreshing. You know,
Uh,
I always get
when
sick of
I
seeing the same drivers on the podium, but this was
yeah,
good.
it's like that Baku race was interesting, but when you see Perez on the podium, that is more, icing on the cake, really.
Yeah.
Um, like it's not like he hasn't done it before as well. So like it's good to see him on there because it gives him potential to be in a higher team,
Yeah.
um, and do greater things. Like he might even pursue Lewis Hamilton's achievements, really. Um, so yeah, you never know what's going to happen with Perez.
Good old Checo. I love that guy. But yeah, if Bottas doesn't perform in Mercedes, I think Ocon will be pick number one for them.
That yeah, it's an interesting option or call or however you see it. Like I would like to see Perez. Like personally, I would like to see Perez in the Mercedes,
Uh huh.
depending who's going to go where.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ocon might be more of a strategic way to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Or
yeah,
Verline.
it
I'd
all.
like to see Verline there as
Yeah,
well. That'd be cool.
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hmm.
Or obviously, ideal option is Ricardo, but
Yeah, yeah. It all depends. Like
yeah,
one moves out and everything else changes.
yeah, butterfly effect.
Hmm.
But we got to talk
And
about Williams though. That car, dog of a car, mate.
yeah, honestly, it's not performing well. The drivers aren't really doing that much.
Stroll's doing it all right, I think.
He's doing okay,
Could
but
be doing better. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, like he's only got 4 points and Sirotkin's got zero. It's
Yeah,
kind of sad to see. Not really doing well.
Robert Kubica. I'm not sure if he's fit to race, because I know he's doing the practice session for Williams, but he's been
Yeah.
setting decent times with in that car.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he at some point this season gets a drive.
It's yeah. I reckon it is like honestly, I think it's too late to put him into the car, even though like we're what four, five, four, 4 or 5 races in or something.
Yeah,
But if he's gonna make up for that time, it's kind of not worth it because well, it might be just to get him up to speed of everything and get used to the car. But even if he's doing the practices, he should be used to it by now.
yeah. And
But
he's like one of those drivers like Fernando Alonso or Schumacher or Ayrton
yeah,
Senna. He's just naturally got that racing talent
exactly.
that
But
very few drivers have. Like I think Alonso and him are the best drivers on the grid
oh yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Um,
And unfortunately, the records don't show that, but they are the most skilled drivers.
yeah, exactly. Like they just need to be in the top team really, and they
Yeah,
could just be setting lap times. Like it's just yeah,
but
you got to be
Fernando's getting
lucky
old.
to
Rob's
yeah,
getting
you got to
old.
it's got to be lucky to get that seat, I guess.
Oh man, this championship is shaping up to be a good one. I wonder if Vettel's going through a mini slump at the moment, but I wonder if he's gonna push Hamilton to challenge for the championship.
Oh, definitely.
You reckon?
I reckon he's got the pace,
Yeah,
or Ferrari do have the strategy to do it.
yeah,
They just got to do it right. I think they haven't been doing it right, or Mercedes have been like challenging their strategy, and that's what pretty much have been throwing them off, I guess.
yeah,
If you look at Barcelona, I think Mercedes had a good strategy and pitted well. That's why they got in front.
yeah,
But yeah, they just got to read each other and know what plans they're going to do. So that's why Vettel won both races in Australia and Bahrain because it was early in the season,
yeah,
but Mercedes just pushed on from there.
yeah. It's typical Mercedes though.
Yeah.
What about Jensen Alexander Lyons Button? I He's still on sabbatical for now. People said that he'd be returning this season, but I still see a Stoffel in the McLaren team.
Mm,
I
that,
do wish he comes back. He raced in
he would
Monaco last
be,
year.
yeah. He did race in Monaco, and it, he crashed. No,
Yeah, he crashed
he
into
made
a
an
Verline.
incident. Yeah, yeah, that's it. But I don't know. Like, if he made a return, wouldn't he be still in this? I mean, I reckon it's the same thing as Robert Kubica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kubica.
It's just like if you're gonna be in it, be in it. You know,
Yeah,
like
I see what
not,
you
not
mean. Yeah,
yeah. It's just if they're gonna honestly, if they were gonna return as well, I would be aiming for like a higher car as well, like
yeah.
maybe fourth India or something like that, like a higher top mid.
Okay, yeah,
Like to even for practicing or testing as well. So
yeah,
you get the feel of you have that experience like Jensen Button or Robert,
yeah,
but you also don't need to test out the top tier cars or something. I don't know,
yeah.
but like, yeah, it's just they would need to be in a higher team to be racing for, but that's their thing.
All right, well, time to move on to the race of the season. Not, but you know, the race that
It,
attracts the most attention.
mm,
Monaco.
it is their highest race weekend, really.
Yeah,
The most talked about, and apparently everyone says it's a boring race, but I would
I do.
differ. I would say it's not.
Tell
So,
me why. Tell me why you think
well,
so.
honestly, the last two races have 1-2 swaps. I
Yeah,
mean, it's sure it's just pit stops or anything like that, but also we have incidences and there's obviously a safety car or a virtual safety car, which sort of changes something. But what these drivers go through as well, and also the teams that have put in the work to fit the car into this rack is what I find most interesting. Like
okay.
these little performances would giving them that little boost as well.
Yeah,
Um, just yeah, all in general, it's just you got to look at these little fine little tiny things that I find interesting.
yeah. I say otherwise, dude. It's just, you know, Polesy that gets the win usually. That's the way it seems,
Usually, yeah,
because last year Raikkonen got pole and better one. But it's just processional race. Uh,
yeah.
it's just
Like it is a
uh,
70 lap race as well, and
yeah,
it's like it's going around and
very
around.
hard
But
to overtake there. It's
yeah,
it might be
but
changed with the hypersoft tires being introduced.
oh, exactly. Especially if it's the next one over the ultra softs. So these faster cars with more aerodynamic performances will have fastest lap times as well.
And Ricardo's already set the bloody lap record in the FP1. So
Already. And we can only see faster lap times in qualifying as well. So
yeah.
that's going to be very, very interesting to see.
And how do you think Homeboy's gonna go here?
Well,
Charles Leclerc.
that's an interesting one. I think he's going to do well. Like
Okay.
it is a tight track, and the Sauber have like obviously the bottom tier
Yeah.
car, so it's going to be interesting because of his performance of the last two races.
Mhm.
Like I would see him around the 10th position,
Okay.
like not exactly, but 9, 8 or 11, 12. So
Yeah.
it's just hard to say on a tight track as well. But
I'm not
it's
sure if
going to
you.
be
Continue. Go on. What was
it's going to be interesting as well. So
Yeah.
mm.
I'm not sure if you're watching FP2, if you watch the FP2 highlights, but the bloody session was red flag because there's a manhole loose on the middle
Oh
on the main straight,
yeah,
so they
I
had to
saw
get
that.
people
Yeah.
on. That was really funny to watch.
Yeah, that was something out of the blue. Like it was just funny. I think it was like the race as well last year or the year before or something. There was
Yeah.
like a bit of a plastic or something like that on the main straight, and they had to like yellow flag, yellow flag that section and take it off. It's just those little tiny things that make it
Yeah.
interesting to watch.
How do you think the top teams are going to go here? Obviously, we've seen Red Bull just dominate practice sessions so far, and actually, qualifying is about to start in 8 minutes from at time of recording. So, how do you think the top teams are going to go, and who do you predict to be on the top
Well,
four spots?
well, obviously, Daniel Ricciardo is going to be either one, two, or three, but obviously maybe one or two.
Okay.
Because of his performance, he's dominating, and that's how they like it at Monaco.
Yeah.
Then either second Sebastian or Raikkonen,
Yeah, I can see that.
um,
Yeah.
then third, fourth with the Mercedes. Either way, like it's gonna happen like that. There's no other way, really.
Yeah, I feel the same because I'll try to find because I saved a screenshot of FP3 highlights,
Ooh,
and
nice.
that's the wrong screenshot. We don't want to know what that is. Oh, there we go. Found it. It takes a while to open. Oh, here we go. So yeah, FP3 Daniel Ricciardo 1 minute 11 seconds, .786. Max
Oof.
Verstappen second place 1:11.787. There was 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, it's very close and
Red
tight.
Bull have dominated, and they were clear of the two Ferraris, followed
Oh,
by the two Mercedes cars, followed by two Toro Rossos
yeah, that's
in 7 and 8.
yeah.
Sergei
Even though it is
Sorokin comes
practice,
back. Yeah, Sergei
yeah.
Sorokin with the 10th place
Mm. So
reshuffle.
it's a yeah. Even though it is free practice, like obviously Toro Rosso's are taking the fifth and sixth or sixth or seventh is
Seventh grade.
it is practice, but we'll see how it goes all breaks down into the qualifying.
Yeah,
Um
don't have to wait too long for that. We might just
but
finish this podcast halfway through Q2, and then we'll jump on the other Discord to watch the Q3.
yeah, definitely.
All right,
Um
who do you reckon's gonna win the race?
well, not to get my hopes high because it has been snatched from him
Yes, it has.
many a times, but I would love to see Daniel Ricciardo win this one.
Same, yeah.
Um, Ricciardo for redemption,
Who
I would like to
deserves it?
call it. He's been dominating and being top in the first three practices. He's got
Yeah.
to absolutely nail this one, and he's got to win it.
Uh,
He has to.
the way he's going, dude, is definitely.
Exactly. It's just would love for it to happen eventually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think Ricardo needs to. I think Ricardo will get pole, judging by the
Mm.
way he's going. Followed by probably Max, then the two Ferraris, then the two Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe the Max Verstappen mixed in with the Ferraris. It's
Maybe if Verstappen doesn't bloody crash
yeah, I just heard
because he
that
crashed
he just
again in
crashed.
FP3.
Yeah.
6 races, 6
Uh,
crashes. He's done it all.
it- oh man, it's just
All right, let's move on from it because I know I'm gonna
exactly. Yeah.
ramble about how much I hate Verstappen. I don't actually hate him. I don't like him or don't hate him. I don't have an opinion on him.
He
Mostly
just
negative
does.
though because it's really funny to see him crash. I do
Um,
like Red Bull though. I'm getting caught in a thought loop. Let's move on quickly. Aero changes for 2019. So I've heard that they're going to remove all the intricacies in the front wing
mm,
to stop the vortices from giving the car additional speed. And what they're doing is just it's plain and simple front wing like they had in the old days. This
mm.
makes for easier overtaking, and Liberty are hoping that it provides for more entertaining races. Or what do you feel about this?
It's funny how forward we go to step back. Two, 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 2 steps forward, 1 step back, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, like why make all these changes and then get rid of them? Like all your aerodynamics engineers and teams and all that stuff made all this progress just to take them off again. It's just really, I don't know how to feel about it, but I reckon it will be okay because it
Look at it from
just
my point of view. Uh,
yeah.
Barcelona and Monaco will finally become entertaining.
Maybe that, yes. I mean, if it does provide more overtakes, I
Yeah.
mean, sure, all for the better. So,
But you're looking at it from more of a research and development point of view
yeah,
rather than just,
like,
race entertainment.
well, bit of both, really,
Okay.
because it does take in races more entertaining to watch, but also how aerodynamics really change this sport as
Mm,
well.
yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. And there are also some engine regulations being changed for
Mm.
2021, but we'll get into that later. It's too far away. There's no point talking about it now.
um, with the new tire changes for Monaco as well, with Hypersofts.
Oh yeah, everyone thought, including me, I thought they were being safe for Canada as well, but no.
Yeah, they just like, oh, we're saving from Canada, but no, here you go, Hypersofts Monaco. I think they done that last year
Yeah,
with Ultrasofts. So we can only hope for way more faster times, as said before. But
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I can't wait.
But
All right.
also with these
Oh,
new tires as well, we've got we've got the hards and then
super hard.
super hards.
If you know what I mean. And by
um,
that I mean Singapore track. Anyway, continue.
yeah, that's an interesting tire compound to add to the addition of hard as well. Like hard is, like 30, 40 lap lasting life,
It's not
and you
just
add
that, because the
it's
the tire compounds have been moved like one stage softer from this year. So the
yeah,
ultra soft, sorry, so the softs from this year are the super
uh,
softs from last year.
softs, yeah, yeah.
So the mediums are the hard from last. Oh, sorry. The
Mediums
softs
are
are
the
the
softs.
mediums last year.
Oh
Mediums are the
yeah,
hard, and the hard is
it's
it's
all these
complicated.
changes.
All
So
we know is the
yeah,
super hard from last year is the hard from this year.
yeah, it's all weird, but I mean, if it's going to provide results and interesting races, then sure, all for it. But I reckon a simple tires are much more better.
Speaking of interesting races, talks of the Miami Grand Prix being included in the championship. Your thoughts?
Another another American track. It's
That's not a very positive reaction.
like I'm all for adding additional tracks. It's just that I think I read somewhere as well where we're trying to the FIA or the Formula One said, oh, we're trying to boost the American fans and all that stuff. I mean, sure, you can do that. I'm fine, but like, if you got to take one for another one, you still got Austin in
Yeah,
there,
it's quite a
but you're
decent
adding.
track as well.
It's a decent track. It's got like all the turns from bits and pieces of other tracks as well.
Yeah.
But adding Miami, apparently it's going to be a closed circuit as well.
Okay. Yeah,
So
street circuits. And Miami's
street
quite a
circuits.
small, like tightly packed place. So
So yeah, you might be looking at a Baku Monaco sort of race.
oh
Yeah.
man, if it's anything like Baku, I'm on board, 100%.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but it's another American race. Like, yeah, I'm mixed feelings about it, really.
How do you feel about France and Germany coming back for this year?
France, I'm all for. Like, I don't, yeah, I think it's going to be a really great or interesting race because it hasn't been in there for a while and they're adding it in. So with these new cars as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and they scrapped the Malaysian Grand Prix for it,
Uh,
which kind of sucks.
Malaysia, it's yeah. I like Malaysia. I love it. Not a, it's just uh yeah. I just love it only because I done well. Oh, I do well in it in the Formula One game, but it is good to see Red Bull to dominate on that track as well because
Yeah.
Mercedes have had troubles on that,
Mhm.
and they're just pulling out that great race that really helped Red Bull. And
uh,
yes,
yeah. Speaking of the games, I'm not sure if you watched it, but there was this new footage from F1 2018. Did you watch it? It's Charles Leclerc going around the Monaco track in the
oh
video
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah,
So it had the halo on the on in the view,
yeah. It's
which
oof.
people are talking so much shit about it, man. But I think it's great. It's the way it is. Deal with it.
It's yeah,
It's staying. It's not going anywhere.
exactly. Like sure, if you're not a Formula One fan of or fan of the Halo, like if something stays, it's gonna stay. I'm sure they're gonna add an option to get rid of it for those fans
I
because you
hope
got to
they don't.
keep.
I honestly hope they don't because these
Well,
fans are they. What are they complaining about? Oh, I don't want it looks ugly. My driver might die, but it looks so ugly. It's
it's
common sense, man. Come on.
it's there for a reason, and it's only gonna we can only see it when it's been put into effect, and that's on like we don't want it to happen, but we want to see results of it. So
And it already
kind of
has because I think in the GP2 race, I forgot the driver's name, but there was a collision and a tire hit the halo. And if
okay,
it
yeah,
wasn't there, his head would have been like just not good.
exactly. Like all the impact would have gone to his helmet, his head, and everything.
So it's already saved. If not a life, it's saved a major injury. So
Yeah,
anyone that talks crap about the Halo just needs to sort their priorities, man. Really.
yeah. And honestly, I think it does help with aerodynamics as well because
Yeah.
they can add little fins on the top as I've seen. And all the driver sees is a bar down the middle, and that's not going to really affect their driving.
Yeah.
It only just looks bad on the outside, but I don't really think it
Even then, I don't
really.
think it looks bad. I
It's
think it looks really, really,
yeah,
really good.
like it really solidifies the car. Really, I
Yeah.
think it's just makes it more compact.
Yeah.
So it's just awkward to see drivers like climb out of it because you got this bar, yeah, another obstacle to come out as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if it saves lives or saves in more injuries, then I'm all for it. It's just
Good. Same.
you got to you got to deal with what you got to deal. Even the drivers have to deal with it. So
Yeah, because Hulkenberg doesn't like it, but he can't tell the FIA, no, I'm not gonna, I'm not, I don't want the halo on my car, and they're like, all right, we don't want you in our grid, piss off.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's what they can do, and it's just these drivers are just dealing with it, and you just get used to it. It's like second nature.
The fans
Yeah.
need to deal with it as well. Not the fans that are against the halo need to deal
Yeah,
with it. It's reality. I'm
yeah.
sorry for not wanting your favorite drivers to die, dude. Holy shit. Wow.
Jesus, yeah. Well, we can maybe Monaco, first corner, we might see this put into effect. But
Oh man.
yeah, but yeah, it's there and it's gonna stay.
Yes.
So
Yes. All right, F1 2018. You tell me what you want to see in career mode.
the biggest thing that everyone has been posting, and I totally agree, is more immersive career or interviews, pre-race interviews.
I think they've confirmed that that's happening.
Well, finally.
I was
um,
watching Arava's because Arava does recent updates on the
ah,
game, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
did
So,
say that
yeah,
there was career interviews being involved. So that's
yeah.
that's a check. What's next?
I reckon, honestly, for me, it happened in 2012, I think, in the game. But a young driver's test or a pre-season
Yes.
driver's test.
Yeah.
I think because taught you how to do corners and overtakes and all that stuff. I'm sure it's like just general basic racing, but
Yeah.
the way that I saw it, and they implemented in 12 is that how well you done is based on what team you're going to be in.
Yeah.
And I reckon that's a great feature because you got to start from the three, like one, two, or three, depending on how well you done the test,
Yeah.
and you got to work your way up.
Yeah.
It's that was great. Like it just taught you how to progress through a career without it like having the first choice of a Mercedes. Like
Yeah.
it's not how it really works in like the Formula One
Yeah.
unless you have like the money for it and then you can just go into Williams.
Stroll.
But yeah, um, but I like that starting from the bottom really. It's just
Yeah, me
a
too.
great thing.
Uh,
Um,
Anything else you want to see in career mode?
well, I would like to explore more. Like if you get out of the cockpit, I reckon you should be able to walk around in that garage or go to your
Okay.
paddock area.
Yeah.
Like if you go to your living quarters or anything like that, just or in that area, and just like
Just like a
da
mini
da da.
open world sort of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, like get a bit of more freedom because like in the 2017 game, you were automatically walking up to like your contractor's room or something like that,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, you could really do that,
Like
but
mini quests, like
player,
walk,
yeah,
go to the um press officer's room, or
yeah,
go to your
yeah, um,
contract officer's room, walk it,
yeah,
like yeah,
like
stuff like that would be
physically walk
really
it,
cool.
like do it yourself instead
Yeah,
of like being, yeah, having a,
AI'd.
yeah, um, but yeah, it's there's a few things as well. Um, I reckon they should put a create your own team F1 manager
Oh,
in there,
that's what I've always wanted. Not just for management, dude. Like,
but
if you could
yeah,
create your own team and race for it, I think that would be so much. Like, it'd bring in a lot of people.
oh yeah,
For me, that's
definitely.
all I'd do. Like, I'd want to make my team just the worst, and build my car up to be a top championship challenging
Yeah,
car.
yeah. I reckon this thing would only happen if there was like FP2, FP3 into this game, but I highly doubt everyone like they'll put it in
Yeah.
eventually. Because everyone's been wanting that as well, because they want something FP2 to F1. I mean, there's a gap there, but
Oh, you mean GP
it's
or Formula?
oh GP, sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
like free
GP.
practice three, free practice two. I got
All
confused for a
those
second.
references, just
Yeah.
GP, yeah. Yeah, just to bridge that gap from GP2 to F1, it's kind of important as well. So you need that gap to be bridged.
Mm.
Mm.
I'd like to see. Yeah, my biggest thing I want to see is create your own team. The second thing I'd like to see is
Mm.
driver exchanges or driver transfers. Because it's very it's
Yes,
very
yes.
unrealistic to have have
So,
Sebastian Vettel in Ferrari for 10 years or Stoffel Vandoorne in
yeah.
McLaren for 10 seasons. It's not realistic. I mean, make it a bit more interesting for us as well, because we have the same
Mm.
cutscenes and the same everything from 2016. F1 2017 was basically copy paste F1 2016 with
Pretty much. But
just
just like
some stuff
with
added.
more,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I get you what you mean. Like taking from like inspiration from other games like NBA 20 2K18.
yeah.
They are like, I'm sure it's annoying, but it's helpful to update your game to the latest roster, like even like every team as well.
Roster,
So
yeah.
so you can have like all these new players coming in and out and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure they can do it with this game as well.
It's not
Having
just that. I mean, have it like random. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be real life transfers.
yeah,
Halfway through his second season, Alonso got into contract with Sauber, and he's going to go there.
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. It's like loads of little tiny things, but that make it more really like
So
realistic
much
to
more immersive.
yeah. Um,
Like,
what?
it's one of the biggest
Mm,
things. The other thing I had in mind was design your own livery as well.
yeah, that will be
But I can understand if they don't implement that, because that's a bit of a
yeah,
pain to include. But
y-
that'd be really
yeah.
cool.
Maybe some like simple arrangements or shapes or
Yeah,
colors and all that stuff. Like I would see that in your own like create your own team
yeah,
sort of section. But yeah, I can get what you mean. Like, I guess with that as well, you can like have sponsors and all that stuff
Yeah,
like to stick on.
and
Kind
like a
of like
yearly salary type thing.
yeah, like it would be more motorsport manager game sort of thing, but it'll be on the F1 actual
Yeah,
game. So um,
and with
what?
Liberty Media and Control, that might very well happen.
Oh
We'll see.
yeah, definitely yeah. Because the inspiration I took from Create Your Own Team was Gran Turismo 5 because you can actually do that.
Yeah,
But yeah, if it was implemented in Formula One, it would work a bit differently. But I reckon that they could really pull it off.
yeah. Anything you want to see from the multiplayer mode?
Well, honestly, I think career co-op.
Yes.
That's the most top ask, I think, or just improving like all bugs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I reckon like co-op career, you could
Mhm.
see more competitive racing,
Yeah. Develop your
or
car as the season progresses as well.
yeah, you could see like more teamwork and everything.
Yeah.
Um, there's so much more you could do with the career instead of just single player. So
Yeah.
it'll be really interesting to see.
Oh well.
Mm.
Uh, I don't think I think multiplayer apart from the co-op career that sounds really fun. Other than that, I
Mm.
don't think there's really anything they need to add. Uh,
Well, yeah.
not for me anyway.
Well, I think another thing for me as well, from like in the game general, is the helmet visor effect.
Oh yeah, Project Cars has
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So like if you lift up and down your
Yeah.
visor, you can just like it changes color tint.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you need to see like the inside of the racer's head instead of just
Yeah.
clear. Like it'll be really good to get that massive
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
Well, I've run out of things to talk. What about you?
Yeah, I'm all burnt out until this qualifying that's coming up
All
soon.
right, let's watch this. Let's play for Mr. Dan, and thank you for spending your time on this podcast,
That
Darren.
is all good. All right,
All right,
I'll see you in the
catch you
next
next
one.
time. See ya.